What's up, everybody? I'm David Hain. Welcome to episode number 325 of the A2D From Addict to Disciple podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, please like, subscribe, follow, and share the link with your friends. If you'd like to get our curriculum, you can get the paperback or ebook of From Ashes to Destiny on Amazon. Today's episode, number 325, is a walkabout in I'm Free Park, and the title of this episode is I'm Free Park. So as we go on this walkabout today, I'm actually going with a couple of guys that I know that are regulars at an AA meeting, and they find their strength in recovery in this AA meeting. We were having a discussion about, are you really free from addiction? How do you balance that with living one day at a time? So let's go on the walkabout and see what we find out. The first sign at the entrance says, "Can you say I'm free from addiction?" We hope this park helps you begin to find true freedom from the bondage of addiction. Enjoy your walkabout. Let's go down the path to the first sign, and it says, it's a quote that's anonymous, and it says, "The moment you can visualize being free from the things that hold you back, you have indeed begun to set yourself free." So guys, what do you think? Well, David, I need help to be able to do that. I keep doubting myself all the other times that I'm thinking about stuff like this. It just leads to doubt that I'll never be free. Yes, I agree. I'm always going to be an addict. And if I'm always going to be an addict, how can I tell myself I'm going to be free? Another guy says, "David, I was watching this new show called Boston Blue, and they said a thing that I actually wrote down because it impacted me so much. And that was, grief ungrieved keeps you from what's beneath it. Love. Let the pain out or risk losing yourself to it." And for me, the things that kept me back from being free are all grief. And this challenged me to how to deal with those things and how to let them go. David, I'd like to share that I've got a great idea from a sponsor who said, make a list of what you're free from. What are you free to do because you're free from those things? And that was hard work, but it was so worth it because it was a life-changing experience. Wow, thanks, guys. Let's go down to the second sign on this walkabout here, and it is a quote by Robert A. Heinlein. And it says, "I'm free because I know that I alone am morally responsible for everything I do." When I'm trying to take responsibility, I sort of take responsibility for part of it, but I don't take responsibility for the impact that it created on other people. Wow. Same for me. But I realized the fact that I'm always using the excuse that I was high when I did those things. So as I take responsibility, it's not really that I'm minimizing, but I'm using my drug as something to blame shift to. I go, well, that wasn't me. That was the meth, or that wasn't me. That was the heroin. And I think the more that I blame shift and use the drug that way, I'll never understand actually taking full responsibility. Wow, good stuff, guys. Let's go down to the third sign on this walkabout and see what you have to say. This sign says, it's a quote by Friedrich Nietzsche, and it says, "Freedom is the will to be responsible to ourselves." So that's the challenge, guys. Do you have that will to be responsible? Well, I've learned the hard way that I could never be held accountable by any sponsor in AA until I held myself accountable to me. And I say the hard way because, one, it was a tough decision to start actually reflecting and holding myself accountable to me. And two, I didn't even know how to do that. Well, guys, the manager of a rehab challenged me on this very thing. He said, I only do what I'm required to do, and only after someone told me to do it. He said, it's up to me to be self motivated in order to find self improvement. So I guess for me, this learning to be responsible to myself ties into, do I really want self improvement or not? Well, guys, what I do is I have a thought that I took responsibility for my actions. So I journal that thing that I think I took responsibility for. And by doing that and reading it, I learned that I actually need to start taking responsibility and journaling, not the thought that I took responsibility, but my thoughts before they become bad decisions and bad actions. So that's my focus right now, and it seems to be working for me. Okay, guys, awesome input. Let's go down to the next sign on this walkabout path. And it's a quote by Daniel Borson, and it says, freedom means the opportunity to be what we never thought we would be. Yeah, David, I was challenged a couple of weeks ago by a friend who said, recovery comes in cans. And yeah, I just chuckled too, because he paused and said, not cannots. So that was my challenge, to actually begin to think of things that I never thought I could become, that I needed to start saying I can do it, not I cannot. I've learned, guys, that if I focus on new opportunities instead of old regrets, I actually see more opportunities. Well, guys, I keep struggling to see opportunities because so many doors keep getting slammed in my face as I'm trying to get a job. Well, guys, thanks. That's real, honest, real life stuff, and I think we can all relate to that. Let's head down to the next stop in this walkabout. And this fifth sign is a quote by Nelson Mandela. And it says, for to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Wow, that's deep. Let me read that one again. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. What do you think, guys? David, that's a great sign at the end of this part. I've been so focused on me and getting myself right, I never thought about how I can bless others. And I think what Nelson Mandela is warning us of here is that if we stay self-focused, we'll never really be truly free. Yeah, I think this is an awesome sign for me as we get towards the end of the park here, because I'm getting ready to work on my 12th step. And maybe my best way to start giving back is to try respecting people who feel disrespected by society and their family. So I'm going to be talking about that with my sponsor, as where and how do I start that? Where do I even begin? Awesome stuff, guys. Let's head on down to the end of the park. And the sign here says, in closing, as you leave the park and the walkabout, we want you to think about, how far away are you from relapse? You've climbed out of the pit of addiction, but are you still walking parallel to the pit? Are you truly walking free in a new direction away from the pit? Are you visualizing and dealing with the things that held you back? Are you understanding your moral responsibility for all of your actions? Are you learning to be responsible to yourself for your thoughts? Are you embracing new and unexpected opportunities? And are you ready to begin to respect and enhance the freedom of others? Wow. Good walkabout, guys. And I want to thank all the listeners for catching this episode. And if you were saying as you listened to it, that's me, feel free to reach out. You can contact me on the link in this podcast. Go to my website, www.froma2d.org, and you'll see my contacts for Gmail and other things there. So thanks for listening, guys. Keep listening to future podcast episodes. And as always, stay safe.